Hi Pisces, it's Jill and welcome to Tarot by the Sea. This is going to be your reading from the 12th to the 16th of February 2018. Sorry it's a little bit late, guys. Alright, we're going to be using Gilded Tarot, Ciro Marchetti, and the Fairy Tarot cards, Doreen Virtue and Riley Valentine. With the first reading of the day, so the cards are a little bit iffy. My son's sitting laughing at me, or he's laughing at something and looking at me, so thanks. Okay, the first card you have is the Moon card. So it could be dealing with a water sign, could be things you don't know, could be things coming to light. Let's have a look. Why are the cards taking so long? The Star and the Hierophant. Oh, getting lots of cards. 4 of Cups and the Judgment. 6 of Cups. Cups, 7 of Wands, 6 of Swords, and 3 of Wands. Bottom of the deck, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Could be dealing with an Earth sign. Could be female Earth sign, could just be the energy of the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is very grounded, she's very nurturing, she's very loving, she's very sweet. Very stable. Okay, what have we got? We've got 3 of Winter, the 2 of Autumn. Whoops, what is going on? Princess of Spring. Prince of Spring, okay. Cool. King of Spring, oh my god, someone's dealing with a fire sign. And the Prince of Winter. Why have you got so many people in your bleeding deck, in your reading? Well, we're about to find out, aren't we? And then we've got the Moon at the bottom of this one too. So we start with the Moon, we finish with the Moon. Powerful intuitive epiphanies, letting go of fear and worry, understanding the truth of the situation. So maybe you go into the week not knowing what the situation is, and maybe you come out of the week knowing what the situation is. Let's put the cards up there. I will need them again probably in a minute. Probably going to be using the Tarot of Sexual Magic as well, but I will use those later. Okay, it's been a weird week for readings. If you saw the Aries reading, apparently I turned into a demon at one point, which was quite hilarious. So if that happens, please do not panic. It's just the computer lagging. The Aries reading was bizarre. Got to say hi, Vince. Hi, Vince. He said to say hello. If you've watched the Aries reading, you'll understand why. Yeah, very, very bizarre week for reading. So, here we go. We have the Moon card. We have the 3 of Winter. There are things that you don't know at this point. The 3 of Winter says, reach out to others for comfort and love. You will grow stronger from this situation. Sadness that will heal with time. I'm not quite sure why I'm feeling just ready to skip over that. There doesn't seem much else to say about it, to be honest. Someone might be feeling guarded. Someone might be feeling quite guarded. I'm not feeling that the energy is flowing particularly strongly today. And I'm not quite sure why. We have the Moon, we have the 3 of Winter. Maybe in the past there were things that you didn't know. And then they came to light and they've made you feel quite guarded. I think that's for some of you. Or maybe there's a lot you don't know now, so you're still on your guard a little bit. Because we've talked about this before. It always seems funny repeating the same things, but obviously there's new people watching. So we have this card. And basically it's like this lady here is feeling quite guarded. Yeah, she's got her lightsabers crossed across her chest. We have this big grizzly bear here, which is looking at her with absolute adoration. And then we have this person in the background as well. So It could be something that happened at Christmas. I know I say that every time, but I guess it's always relevant because he looks like Santa. But there could be someone in the picture as well who is kind of like, this person could be dealing with someone who is older than them. And they're kind of looking guarded towards the bear rather than looking guarded towards this other person. And I don't normally see that. I don't normally kind of pull in the fact that they're not feeling guarded towards the other person. It's like this other person seems to be there kind of for support. And I'm getting the word mediation as well, which I don't normally get with that. Something seems more threatening than it is. And I always get the feeling from that card as well that this past love, this person could be a past love because it's older and it's kind of in the background. And this person's at front, this lady's at front, and she's kind of interacting with the bear. She's not interacting with this other person. And the bear's looking at her, she's looking at the bear. And the older person is looking at the bear as well. And they seem quite unconcerned about it. She seems quite distracted as well. She's not actually looking at the bear. She's looking past the bear. And she's looking quite calm and composed about everything. And at the end of her lightsaber things, she's got little lights. So I wonder whether this ties in with the moon card in the sense that things are gradually coming to light. So she's kind of getting illumination, and she's not focused on it. She's not focused on it. She seems to be focused on something completely different, to be honest. She's kind of looking off into the distance, which reminds me of the Queen of Cups, because the Queen of Cups has that kind of detached air. So you could be I think you could well be dealing with a water sign. You could also be dealing with a fire sign as well, I think. And this person might be a little bit cold. This person could be a little bit cold, because there is that air of detachment, and the Queen of Cups can be quite detached as well, and she can come across as a little bit cold. But it's the same thing, it's that same energy, because it's like the Queen of Cups is cold because she's guarding herself, you know. She's the kind of person, she's been through a lot in the past. And unlike the Queen of Wands, who will kind of fight back, the Queen of Swords, who will kind of fight back, she doesn't have swords. What she does is she kind of detaches. Okay, and she kind of keeps that bit of distance, and she keeps detached. So this could be what you're dealing with, or that could be you who's feeling that way. I'm seeing something else as well. I'm seeing old flame energy, because in the moon we have these two flames, okay, which are, the light from both of them isn't touching. And it kind of ties in with that old love feeling. The light from these two flames isn't touching. The kind of flame itself is going off in opposite directions. And it's like neither person, if these are two people, neither person kind of knows what the other one's thinking, because the moon's in the way and it's not illuminated as to what the other one's thinking. Which is really interesting. I've never had that before either. And for some of you, you're just... this could be someone that you met at work. Getting getting a really weird vibe from this, a genuinely weird vibe from this. I'm looking at the numbers because we have the 3 of winter as well, okay? So we have the 3. This is a 10, a 5 and a 3. So if you take the 3 out of it, we've got 2 3s, third party situation sometimes. We've got 3 people in this card. We've got 3 people in this card. It's possible third party. But it's like 10 is the end of something, 5 is change, and 3 is 3. So if it is a third party situation, it could be coming to an end, or it could be the end of arguments about a third party situation. Okay. The 10 breaks down to a 1 as well, so it could be the beginning of arguments about a third party situation. I do wonder in this card, though, who is reaching out to who, because it says reach out to others for comfort and love. Who's reaching out to who? Because none of those people seem to be reaching out to anybody. They're all kind of there standing. The girl and the bear are kind of communicating, the other person is in the background, but nobody's kind of reaching out to anyone. And maybe this is the problem. Maybe it's like, whoever you are in this scenario, maybe nobody's reaching out to anyone, and maybe people need to start reaching out to each other. Maybe people need to start reaching out to each other, because maybe this is why the information isn't known. Maybe this is why you have the moon card. And I wonder, because we have the other moon card at the end of the week, I wonder whether this communication is going to happen sometime within this week. So, oh my goodness, sorry, that was like pulling teeth, it really was. So we have the star cards, we have the hope card, yeah. We have the Hierophant, so that's anything to do with kind of society, I suppose, the structures of society. So it's the law, it's marriage, it's higher education, it's corporations, it's anything like that. It's the kind of structures upon which society are built. So we have hope, and we have that. And we have 2 of autumn. Bring fun into everything you do, juggling multiple priorities or jobs, and exceptional talent for multitasking. Again, this feels like pulling teeth. This is not coming through very, very quickly, okay? Perhaps some of you are hoping for marriage. Perhaps some of you are looking for commitment. Perhaps some of you are looking for a kind of job in law or something like that. A career within kind of those fields. But it doesn't feel like it to me. It feels like it's not hoping for a divorce. Though maybe some of you are. Maybe some of you are waiting for divorce papers and things like that to come through. And maybe you're hoping for that. But that's not what it's feeling like. It's feeling like, I think some of you are hoping for a legal judgment to go in your favour. Or you're waiting for exam results or something like that. There's a kind of sense of anticipation, waiting for something that is kind of legal or educational or to do with structure and stability. This isn't the Pentacles card, but this is obviously, this is kind of Pentacles energy. I don't know who the Hierophant ties in with, but it's going to be Earth sign energy, because there is that stability and security there. And it's all about tradition and things like that as well. So maybe some of you are hoping to take a traditional approach to something. I think maybe some of you are looking for a commitment and the other person's just about having fun. But we have the 2 of autumn, and again it's that Pentacles card. So perhaps you're hopeful, because at the moment you're having fun, but you're hoping it's going to turn into something that's more stable and secure. Potentially marriage, or at least some kind of commitment. And I wonder whether that's how you're feeling right now. So the next cards that we have the 4 of Cups, and we have the Judgment. And basically the Four of Cups, the Judgment card, is just going to be about making a decision. When we look at the Four of Cups, this person is being offered a cup, okay? Cups are always something that is emotional fulfillment. So it's like this person's being offered the cup, but do they want it or not? Is it the fact that it's just appeared and they haven't kind of got up and taken it yet? Or is it the fact that they're not actually that interested? This is kind of the dissatisfaction card as well. It's kind of a bit of a depression card, but not kind of like severe depression, but just kind of being a little bit low, maybe being a little bit tired, being a little bit worn out. And maybe for some of you, you're taking medication for it and you've tried other medications and they haven't worked. For some of you, it's basically you're being offered a cup. You already have 3 cups. You're essentially quite happy and you're being offered this cup, and it's like, am I going to take it or am I not? But it's a divinely guided cup because it's basically being given to you either by someone who's really, really tall, or it's kind of like an angelic kind of hand coming out of the ether and giving you this. What I'm also getting as well is that actually you may be sitting around daydreaming, because that's air energy, because it's coming out of the air. So maybe you may be sitting around dreaming about this opportunity that you want, this Ace of Cups that you want. I think the other things that you have down here are actually quite stable, and they could be about money because it's basically earth sign energy. So I wonder whether it's about kind of like money and like your own stability and security, and you have these, and now you have this new idea for something that's emotionally fulfilling for you as well, and you're sitting kind of like daydreaming about it. So for some of you, maybe that's the situation. You may be thinking about the Princess of Spring, who is the Page of Wands. Optimistic, enthusiastic, creative and energetic. It's time to go after your dreams, and that kind of follows on, doesn't it? If you're sitting daydreaming about whatever this thing is and you've got hope for something coming in, that kind of makes perfect sense. It's time to go after your dreams, do something that expands your horizons, let your creativity take flight. We have 2 ladies in red. Now obviously the Page of Wands is a fire sign, so I'm assuming that's who is feeling guarded in the 3 of Winter card. Okay, but you may not see it, and that's why you get the Moon card. You may not see it because she may kind of like be all happy on the outside, but actually internally she's feeling incredibly guarded. And this may be the way that she comes across, but actually what we don't know is that she's still feeling incredibly guarded. And she's feeling quite detached because maybe there has been past love that has been hurtful, and that's why she's a little bit cold. Getting this thing about, she's out there in the freezing cold, she's got this little cloak on, right? But if that bear gave her a hug, then basically she'd be like toasty warm. But this other person is wearing blue as well, so maybe this person in the past, whoever they were incredibly cold. They're kind of not even looking at her anymore. In fact, actually, I think they have their eyes closed in this picture. Just trying to see. I think they may have their eyes closed. So perhaps they don't see what's going on. So perhaps you're the person who's in the back and you don't realise that this interaction's going on and you're not seeing it. So perhaps there is a potential for a third party situation and you don't see it. You're not seeing it if you're that person in the back. Or maybe someone has come towards your partner, but your partner's kind of like backing off. Your partner's kind of like guarded and they're like, no, not into that. Maybe this person is hopeful that this is going to happen. And maybe they have a lot of fun together. Maybe this is happening at work as well, because it does say juggling multiple priorities or jobs. So maybe this is happening at work, and maybe they get on really well, but your partner's like, or you are like, your partner's not seeing that. You're like, no, I'm sorry, I'm married, so I'm kind of not moving forward. So you have this, and you've made this judgment, and you are being offered something, but actually you have 3 cups already, which is a celebration card. The 3 of cups is also the celebration card, and perhaps you're just not interested in the 4th cup. Perhaps you've got other things that you want to do, but it's time to go after your dreams, do something that expands your horizons, let your creativity take flight. Maybe you're not interested in it because you have something else that you want to be doing. We have the 6 of cups that's dealing with children, or it's kind of nostalgia, it's looking back at happier times in the past. And this may be kind of in the corner of your mind all the time because you have this little cat down here. Okay, and it's kind of skulking at the bottom there, and it's just kind of watching. I kind of get the feeling with this that for some people you're just watching your children, but you're not watching your children though. If that's you, then you're not watching your children, because the children are back there, but they're quite self-sufficient, they're okay, and you're just kind of guarding the space, as it were. Perhaps some of you are looking back to the past and you're thinking about all the times that you were happy. And for some of you, you're looking back to the past and realising that it's your children that make you happy, It's like that feeling of kind of like, if you're single and kind of you're looking back at this past love here, and you're thinking about that, it's just like, well, do you know what? I got my children out of it. So even if it's a really hurtful relationship, perhaps you're kind of looking back and going, well, I got my children out of it, and that's the most important thing, and that is what makes me happy. So you have the Prince of Spring. Charming, self-confident, restless, and passionate. Immediate action, a challenge you can successfully manage in a passionate relationship. Perhaps, for some of you, that's the same person. Perhaps the Page of Spring has suddenly got on her horse and kind of, or his horse, and kind of like come rushing towards you with these, with this wand of passion and all these kind of things. And it's been fun, and now there's actually movement forward. But remember, with the Prince of Spring, yes, Prince of Wands, remember I always say about the Prince of Wands, that the Prince of Wands comes flying in with all this passion and all these kind of things. But the Knights don't stay around, okay, this is the Knight of Wands. They don't stay around, they tend to kind of be in and out. So for some of you, this is the person that you're dealing with, and this is why they're so much fun, and this is why they're so flighty and everything else, because actually they're not looking to settle down. And that may well be true for some of them. If this is the lady in the red dress in the 3 of Winter, perhaps that's why she's quite guarded. But for some of you, because it's in this deck rather than the other deck, it can just be taking action on something that's going to be a passionate relationship, okay? And perhaps if this person is feeling guarded, perhaps you are more than capable of dealing with that, Or maybe if you're feeling guarded, this is the card telling you that you can successfully manage that. You don't need to feel guarded. This bear is looking at you with love. It's not looking at you with any kind of threat there. So perhaps the story here is to basically kind of drop your defences. Perhaps you've dealt with the Prince of Wands in the past, and that's why you're kind of looking back at old times. And maybe you've blocked this person. Maybe you've blocked this Prince of Wands, or they've blocked you. But again, I think there's a correlation between this kind of defending yourself and being very protective. And I think what's happened is maybe these are even people in the past, okay? And you had this past love, so you're feeling quite defensive anyway. You met this bear. You've ended up in a situation where it looked like this person was loving and caring and all of those things. But actually, he's still a bleeding grizzly bear. And now, who was it? Somebody said the other day, I was watching a reading the other day and I actually commented on it. I can't for the life of me think who it was. Oh, I'm so sorry. Amazing lady she is as well, fantastic reader. And she said, you can't, what was it? You can't make a scorpion act like a puppy or something. And you can't treat them the same. And maybe this is what happened. Maybe you kind of tried to tame the bear, and maybe this bear came at you looking all loving and beautiful and all of those things and cuddly, but actually it's still a damn grizzly bear, okay? And no matter how lovingly it looks at you, it would still turn on you like that. And maybe you kind of went through all of this, and now you're even more defensive than you were before. Before you had three swords. And now you have basically, now you're defending yourself even more. So for some of you, you may have been through that. But again, we're going back and we're saying this is a challenge that you can successfully manage, and it's a passionate relationship. But perhaps that's why you're on your guard. In the Three of Winter, the lady is standing outside. In the Three of Winter, the lady standing outside, she's quite open. But in the Seven of Wands, this guy is guarding a very small door and there are walls around it. So maybe you've built your walls up massively and you're kind of defending the only little space that's available. We have the Six of Wands. I'm just trying to think. The Six of Wands is... Five of Wands is Triumph card. Six of Wands, I can't even think what the Six of Wands is. It will come back to me. But then you have the King of Spring. And if you're dealing with a fire sign, perhaps they do come rushing in and it kind of triggers something in you that makes you think about what happened in the past. And you're like, whoa, hold your horses, mate. Or hold your hair in this deck. Hold your horses. But what it's saying to you is that actually, yes, the Knight of Wands... he is that energy, but basically not all fire signs are going to be like that. The Knight of Wands can, just because someone comes rushing into you with this passion doesn't necessarily mean that they are genuinely the Knight of Wands. Perhaps this is a more mature energy. And it says innovative, inspiring, wise and theatrical, and it's also actually underneath the Hierophant, this card. So the financial windfall, your leadership skills are needed now, an unexpected supporter of your cause. Perhaps if you are the Knight of Wands, you need to become the King of Wands. You need to show that kind of more mature, more settled energy towards this person and perhaps hold off on the passion a little bit. The King of Wands is still passionate, but the King of Wands in a kind of relationship reading is like, he has got all that passion, he has got all that fire, he has all those things, but the King of Wands does actually commit. He has his he's more mature, he's more sensible, he's more kind of grounded, and perhaps that's the reason. Perhaps this is what you need to do, is you need to kind of show this more mature energy. And it's like, yes, have fun, do the fun stuff, but also perhaps kind of like be showing a little bit more commitment than perhaps the Knight of Wands would. Because the Knight of Wands is I'm saying obviously, for some of you the Knight of Wands is triggering things like from the past, I think, and this is why this person's guarded. And perhaps you don't know this because they look quite happy on the outside. Then we have the Six of Swords, the Six of Swords, and the Three of Wands. So essentially, somebody is moving away. Perhaps this princess, this could be an air sign person, a younger air sign person, okay, so Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Intellectual, determined, focused and impulsive. Seek an intellectual solution to your problem, the need to act quickly and decisively. We had that with the Prince of Spring as well, didn't we? That you need to act quickly, whatever this is. Sudden or unexpected changes. For some of you, you're waiting for your ships to come in, and this person moves away because this is swords and this is swords. So this could be the Page of Swords is moving away. And we have this reiteration as well. Perhaps the change is that this person, this Page of Winter, is actually has learnt their lessons. They've moved away. Now there's illumination there, because we have the full moon. And this is what I was saying about the moon card coming back up again. We have the full moon, so there is illumination there. So whoever this Page of Winter is may well walk away and take their swords with them. And I'm kind of getting that in two ways, because we have the Judgment card above this one, and it's like, for some people, this person's learnt their lessons in the past, and they're kind of moving away from troubled waters to calmer waters because they've learnt what they need to learn, okay? For some of you, you've made the decision, so if you think of that as a Two of Wands, okay, you've made your decision to move forward. You have your passionate start there, so you're moving forward with this passionate start, and you're just waiting for your ships to come in at this point. The swords are also kind of truth as well, okay? They're communication and they're truth. So maybe there is truthful communication which allows, and that's why you get the moon card, okay? Maybe there's honest and truthful communication, okay? This person has a wand in her hand, sort of, but that's what I'm getting. This person has a wand in their hand, yeah? So maybe you have this open and clear communication. We have the moon at this point, which is this, okay, which says letting go of fear and worry, understanding the truth of a situation. You now have clarity, and now both people, this person's moving towards calmer waters, okay, this person has made the decision to move forward with this Ace of Wands, so they're taking the Ace of Wands and moving forward, they're taking the Ace of Wands and moving forward, so you're both moving forward into this passionate new start. And we have the Hierophant. Now what we don't have is the King of Pentacles. We have the King of Spring. The King of Spring's a little bit of a... he's a funny one because it's... he is very fiery and passionate. He can commit. He can commit, but he's not always faithful either. Because all he has to do is get on his horse and he becomes the Knight of Wands, who really isn't particularly faithful. They're kind of in and out. For some of you, you could be moving away from this situation, and for some of you, you're taking the Ace of Wands, which is his passionate new start. Both of you have it, and you're kind of both moving forward and leaving the past behind you, which is really nice, actually. So I'm going to clarify with the Tarot Sexual Magic. I'm not going to show the cards because I know some people don't like them, but I know that this is very, very useful to do this. So what are we going to clarify? I think we're going to clarify everything, actually. We've got the Six of Wands, so we've got the Three of Wands and the Six of Wands. Sorry, this is really weird energy. I don't know whether I'm coming across as being kind of like a bit... it's really, really odd energy. Knight of Swords. Four of Chalices and the Ace of Wands. So yes, so you both have your Ace of Wands that you're kind of moving forward with, and then we have the Queen of Wands as well. So we have the King of Spring and we have the Queen of Wands, which are the couple. Okay, so I think for the majority of you, you are moving forward with this, and it's going to be stable because we have the Hierophant and we have the Queen of Pentacles as well, so that's both earth sign energy. I'm just looking to see what else you've got in the deck. You've got the Five of Cups. Just tying in with the Four of Cups for me. If there's a third party situation going on in the Four of Cups, then the third party situation ends there in the Five of Cups, and then it's just two people, but someone might be quite upset about it. Okay, someone might be quite upset about it. I'm not going to read any more of those because it doesn't feel like I need to. Right, let's have a look. Oh my goodness, my glasses are so grubby, it's unbelievable. Right, it's because I've been cleaning out the office and it's so dusty. My son's sitting over there laughing like a maniac person. I don't know what he's laughing at. What are you laughing at, Sander? You better not be laughing at me. Right, so above the Three of Wands in the Moon, we have the Six of Wands. Growing closer, growing apart, deluding, confirming, every game of pleasure must end and doubts must be dispelled. So I think basically it's kind of saying take this as the ebb and flow, okay? If this person's guarded and you don't actually know everything at this point, then just kind of take it gently, just kind of take it one moment at a time and just deal with each situation. There may be times when it's all kind of flirty and lovely and this person is behaving like this, okay? So it's having fun. There may be other times where this person's feeling a little bit more distant, a little bit more guarded, okay? And in that case, so you have these two people. So it's quite fun, but they're quite guarded. So there might be this kind of like ebb and flow situation going on. Okay. We have the King of Pentacles and we've just pulled the Queen of Pentacles as well. So there is potential for this relationship to actually move forward into something that is incredibly stable because the King of Pentacles is on top of the Hierophant. Fear increases the distance and pursuing your partner will do no good. Happiness is born of a mutual effort to move towards each other. And this is what I was just saying. It's like, if they become guarded, don't push it because it's just got to be that ebb and flow. You know, there has to be that ebb and flow there. If someone's feeling guarded and distant, there's no point kind of pushing it forward too much because it's just going to kind of put them more on their guard. Whereas it's just kind of, if it stays fun, if it stays quite light, and it's a fun situation, and the guard will drop. Okay, and that's what I'm seeing with that one. Then we have the Ten of Pentacles, which again it's a massive kind of indication of you've suddenly got this Ten of Pentacles energy. You've suddenly got this Pentacles energy coming in towards the end of the week. And the Pentacles is all about kind of stability and security and things like that. And then you have the Ten of Pentacles. So there's definitely potential for this. Vanity is the soul of love. You must love yourself to let yourself be loved, and you must love yourself before you can love another. So it's like, take care of your own needs first, you know. You need to love yourself first. And in this card, it's like this person's kind of moving away and this person's got their back to the situation. If it means that you need to move away from the situation, then move away from the situation. You've got to love yourself first, and that's what kind of is spreading through the whole of this reading, is the fact that you need to love yourself first. But once you've done that, once you've got to that point, then there is potential to genuinely love someone else. You have the Knave of Swords, who's on top of the Prince of Spring, who is the Page of Swords. Enemy of the couple are both inside and outside the relationship. They should look at each other. Vigilance does not distract from pleasure, and pleasure does not distract from vigilance. Okay. For some of you, there may be this kind of fire sign or air sign energy who's kind of still in the background. Maybe they're still around. And when we talked earlier about maybe there being someone at work and your partner's kind of being approached by them and they're saying, no, I'm sorry, I'm married, perhaps that's relating to that. Maybe this person's still in the background. But he is the Prince of Wands. He's not actually offering anything substantial. This sounds like a really weird thing to say, but it's like, if your partner has come to you and told you this, okay, because we do have the honesty, we do have, this is kind of like, I think there's an element of honesty. If this comes out this week, it sounds really, really silly to say, but it's like, if this comes out this week, then don't give your partner a hard time about it, because I don't think it's anything that they've done. I think it's just the fact that this Prince of Wands has just come flying in, and he's doing his Prince of Wands thing. And giving your partner a hard time about it will basically create more problems. We had this for one of the other readings as well. It's just like giving this person a hard time will just create more problems within the relationship. So actually, if that's what they're doing, just trust that they're kind of like blocking these advances. And just trust them and let them kind of like go with it, okay? I think you can trust this person because it's not looking like they're going to be moving forward with this. So giving them a hard time about it isn't really going to help, and it could actually create far more problems. Just let this person take their own time and kind of move away from it. Right, where are we? Four of Chalices. Immobility, habit and indifference can caused by routine, must be fought. Immobility, habit and indifference caused by routine must be fought. So it's basically, again, if it's like it was saying earlier in the reading, it's like if this is quite a long-term relationship, it's the trying to bring fun into everything that you do, okay? It's trying to move forward with this. It's yes, okay, have the stability and the security, but keep that passion going as well. Don't get stuck into a rut with this. It's Valentine's Day this week as well, so maybe you need to do something a little bit special, or someone does. So we have the Prince of Winter, intellectual, determined, focused and impulsive, seek out an intellectual solution to your problem, need to act quickly and decisively. What card do we have on top of that? Okay, we have the Ace of Wands. So there is definitely potential for this passionate new start, whatever this is. For some of you, this is a word of warning, if you're cross-watching, or even if you're not. And it's talking about your partner. If things are kind of stuck and this other person is offering fun, this is for a different set of people. There is already the set of people where your partner's being offered something and they're like, no, I'm sorry, I'm married, I'm not interested. For some of you, if that relationship has got really stagnant, then there is potential that it may actually happen, okay? So what you need to do is you need to step up, or the other person needs to step up and actually make a bit of an effort to get this passion back and actually start doing things and get out of the routine, okay? Because the other person's offering fun and passion. If that's not within your relationship, then there's potential for this to kind of happen. Okay. Ace of Wands, abandon is a surrender of oneself. One loses one's likeness to enter into something much greater. There is, maybe this person who's coming in makes them feel like the Page of Wands. Maybe they make them feel younger. Maybe they make them feel passionate. And maybe they didn't feel that way before. And it's like maybe they've lost themselves in the relationship and this person is actually helping them to find themselves. So if you need to kind of like do that for them, I know it's really difficult. I know if you've been in a long-term relationship, it's really difficult to suddenly just like become all weird and passionate and all that kind of stuff, because it's just like you do that. I mean, I was with my ex-partner for like 20 years, and I think if I had suddenly behaved like that, he'd have been like, what the hell are you doing? And I think if he'd behaved like that, I would have been the same. I'd have been like, what's wrong with you? But it's not about that. It's about kind of like making it fun. It's about making the relationship fun and not getting lost in the routine of it. And it doesn't matter how long you're together, there needs to be that kind of element of something, unless you just want to get into this. And unfortunately what seems to be happening for some of you is, if it's a long-term relationship, there is a possibility that things have got stayed and have got kind of boring. And this Knight of Wands has come in, and it's just like, do you know what? Actually, they make this person feel good. They make them feel good. So for some of you, that could be the situation. And for others of you, if this is quite a new relationship, then I think there is seriously potential here for a passionate start that's going to settle down into something that could potentially be long-term. But it's about honesty and it's about clarity. What's on the bottom of this deck? The Queen of Wands. So we have the King of Wands and we have the Queen of Wands. So we have a couple here, okay? And it's a passionate, loving couple as well. So we have the Queen of Wands. Honesty and devotion between partners are born of daily pleasures. You must seduce your partner each and every day as if it were the first time. This is what I've just been saying to you, okay? You need to keep that fresh. You need to keep it going. And if it's gone, you need to bring it back in. Right, I'm going to leave you there, my darlings. If it resonates, like, share, subscribe, and comment. As always, tell me your stories. I love your stories. And if you need a personal reading, details are below. I'm also on Instagram. I sat here last night and I felt very proud of myself. Instagram, Facebook, and what's the other one? Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Yeah, that's the other one. So I'm going to start doing daily readings. So I'll shove them on Instagram so that you know that they come through. If you're on Facebook with me, I will do the daily readings on Facebook. Okay, so if you look in the details below, all the details of how to connect are on there. And I'm going to start doing daily 3-card readings as well, so you can be informed of those. Right, gosh, I'm running out of breath. That was a really long one. My God, that's 48 minutes. I'm still shuffling cards, so there's still something to come out for you. Sorry, guys. Temperance and the Hermit. There's still something to come out for you. And the 8 of Chalices. Right, sorry. You thought I was done, didn't you? You thought I was done. No, I'm not done. Okay, 8 of Chalices on the bottom of the deck. There is still something that you need to know. I'm getting told this isn't for everyone. Okay. You must try to know your partner's character in spite of his reserve. Beneath the thorns you may find the right choice, an honest and sincere person. This goes back to them feeling guarded. Okay, they may be feeling guarded. They may be feeling quite challenged by the situation. But if you can kind of get over that and keep going and keep that kind of perseverance going, you will find out that they, are a kind of different person underneath once you get past the guard. Okay, actually, here we go. Once you get past the guard, you will find that there is lots of fire and passion behind there. Okay, so just keep going with that. Right, what else do we have? Why did that come out? Okay. Then we have Temperance. It's funny, isn't it? They just let me think that I'm finished, and then they suddenly go, no, we have to show you this as well. Temperance. Friendly but cool relations to be warmed up with the magic of plants. I'm not sure what plants have got to do with it. The filter of love sparks a slumbering desire and restores harmony to the relationship. This is exactly what I was just saying, okay? Friendly but cool relationships to be warmed up. So, I have no idea where plants comes into it. Flowers. Oh my God, flowers on Valentine's Day, okay? That will help, maybe. Maybe that's the kind of show of love that you need, is like, send them like, I don't know, 24 red roses or something like that. The filter of love sparks a slumbering desire and restores harmony to the relationship. So maybe that's what you need to do. Then we have the Hermit. Hermit, as we all know, is a Virgo generally. Virgo. Retention of the seeds, slowing down your pace, allows the magic to germinate. When the psychic force is restrained, its power is doubled. That's really interesting, because to me that card always says hold back on the passion. But you're being told to be passionate. So if you're being told to be passionate, but you need to hold back on the passion, or hold back on the actual act, I think. Maybe it's all about romance and all that kind of stuff, and flirting, and the anticipation of it. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting it's like, if you're in a relationship and you can't kind of rush forward and obviously instantly restore the passion and go all weird and stuff, because it would be kind of weird if you've been in a long-term relationship. I would think that was kind of weird. New relationships, slightly different. But maybe that's what it's about. Maybe it's about just kind of like the playfulness. It says bring fun into everything you do. It's like that playful kind of sensuality and sexuality, and the kind of banter and the flirting and all that kind of stuff, and the roses and the romance and all those things. And maybe that's where you need to go with this. Then you have the Ace of Wands, and that's where your passionate new start comes into it. I think we're there, Pisces. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that. It all sounds jolly exciting to me. So I'm going to leave you with that, and I will speak to you in a week's time, I guess. In a week's time. I've got to get the March ones out as well, haven't I? Anyway, lots of love. Take care. Bye-bye.